All right, what is up everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and we're looking at my latest purchase here. If you guys haven't seen the video before this one, I ended up paying about 1,200 bucks for this right here, a 2008 Mercedes ML550 4MATIC. And I mean, 1,200 bucks is pretty cheap for an SUV like this. I mean, the 350s, they tend to go for a little bit more. And yes, before you send in, the hood is open. I've already popped it because that's one of the things we're going to talk about. But an ML350 like this goes for, you know, relatively 5-6 grand depending on miles. The 550s tend to be around 8, 9, 10 with miles, you know, depending on, again, at the end of the day, depending on miles and the history of the vehicle and everything, which 1,200 bucks for this was a steal. And this, as you guys can already see, it's got the AMG Sport package. It's got the different kind of bumpers and everything than a regular 550 does. But in today's video, I kind of want to go over all the things wrong with this thing that we need to fix in order to get it to a driving vehicle. And I told you guys in the past video, this is really for my mom. That's the person that's going to be driving it. It was really cheap, and it's a good setup. I mean, it's a good powertrain. The 550, the M273 is a good powertrain. So we'll get into all that, but let's just start off with the most obvious, which is the cosmetics of the outside of this thing. So as you guys can see, of course, the hood needs to be repainted. I don't know how well it'll come off on, I mean, I don't want to block it with my thing, but it is also really dirty. I cleaned it when I first got it, but it's also just been sitting at the house because I can't register it yet because of the Nevada Fantastic DMV, which, if you guys know anything about the Nevada DMV, it sucks. I mean, I have an appointment to go register the car, because you can only do this with appointments, by the way, on the 20th of December. I made that appointment when I bought this thing, which was the beginning of November. That was the earliest they had open. That's so stupid. This DMV is ridiculous. I can't stand them. Every other DMV in the country is fine, pretty quick and everything. This one sucks, and you can't just walk in. You can on Wednesdays, but guess what? I work till 4 o'clock on Wednesdays, and shocking, they close at 5. And you could, if you're gonna do a walk-in, 4 o'clock is the latest you can show up. So I just had the appointment. It is what it is. The car's gonna sit in the house for another almost month, but whatever. Let's get back into the vehicle. So like I said, cosmetics, it needs a paint job. The hood needs to be repainted. The roof is really faded too. It's got scratches all over the body. You know, biggest one is probably this right here on the quarter panel. Up there, as you guys can see, that needs to be redone. Around the rear, we also have, I'm kind of blocking it now because of my shadow, but as you can see, the bumper's got scratches on it. The rear trunk has got scratches on it. It's just, it needs a paint job, and it's dirty. It's also missing these caps down here for the tow hitch caps, excuse me. Or not the tow hitch, but where you would put the tow thing on if you got to pull it or whatnot. So that's missing, which sucks, because to get one of these, I mean, this is a weird color. It's not black, as you guys can see now, finally. This is called Verde Brooks, which is a really dark, almost black at night, kind of forest green, I guess you can say. There's another option, it's emerald green. That one's a lot more different. This one's more, I would say, more oily style, like, or the color is more oily as opposed to it being, you know, just dark green like forest green. But it is a really nice color. I'm very glad that this thing is not just black, because black is boring. The wheels also need to be refinished. They have, as you can see, they have some scratches and curb rash on them, but they do need to be kind of redone and just refinished. Aside from that, just scratches all over the body. Nothing's like dented or bent or anything. It's just, there's just a bunch of scratches that need to be redone. I got to go to the junkyard and get, one of get these right here, because those are, as you can see, this one, the paint's all faded and it's all chipping and whatnot, so I just got to go to junkyard to get them, or we could just repaint them black. Or actually, I like the silver, so I don't know if I could just peel the black thing off. I'm assuming I can, but I like the silver because it looks really good, as opposed to, you know, the silver looks really good as opposed to the green color, which is really, again, I like this color a lot, and the silver contrasted. There's something up with the taillight too. I don't know what that is. It kind of looks like mud, or it looks like, I actually have no freaking clue what it is, but yeah, suffice to say, we do need to go ahead and you know, get that changed. It does have a tow hitch, which is really nice. It's got all the whole setup, so you could tow with this thing, and I mean, the 550 is a great tow powertrain as well, so we've got that set up. In terms of the interior, or you guys can see a little bit more of the paint damage right there, some of the fading. In terms of the interior, we did clean it very well. It's got, you know, it's got the all-weather floor mats now that the truck actually had, or I shouldn't say truck. I mean, this is an SUV. It's not a truck. I don't know why a lot of people here in the U.S. call these things trucks. It's not a truck. This is a SUV. but it's got all WeatherTech all-weather floor mats, which is really nice because then you could take it out to, you know, like we did the other day out to the desert, and it doesn't make the carpets dirty. The carpets are destroyed. I mean, we cleaned them as well as we could, but because it's beige, people have just never really taken care of it, so there's certain parts that you really can't clean. But it's much better than when I got it. When I got it, this thing was absolutely disgusting and, you know, just not a really good looking, in terms of, it wasn't very good looking, and it was just very bland and destroyed. Seats, like I said, has a little bit of a tear right there, a little bit of a tear right there, but that is delasting. I don't really care. If I find one of these at the junkyard and it's in really nice condition, then we can go ahead and try to we can really go ahead and try to, you know, change it out, maybe get some seats. But as of right now, I don't really care. The seat works, everything works, who cares? Seat belts are really, really dirty. I don't know how to clean them properly. I know what people do it with steam, so I'm gonna have to try that because, I mean, look at that. That is absolutely disgusting. So it really is dirty and nasty. In terms of everything else inside here, this seat, the motor went out. It worked fine before, but the motor has gone out now, so I need to get an, actually, it's right there. As you can see, we got it from the junkyard, and it keeps giving me a light for that battery right there, for the aux battery, so I just need to, change that out. But I can't change it out until I move the seat up, and I can't move the seat because the motor's bad. So I'm probably gonna end up changing that today. It's really easy. I already took the old one out, so I just got to put a new one in it. Overall, everything else in here works very well. Nothing really, I guess you can say, to complain about. No crazy, I guess you guys can't really see, but the only light on is that TPMS light, and there's that little battery light now that you could see for the aux. Oh, you gotta turn that off so we don't get demonetized. That's it. That's really, and then clean the gauge. You guys can see they're really dirty, but that's really it. There's not much to, there's not much wrong in here. I mean, everything works. Heated seats work, radio works, everything works. So what's the point of changing stuff? It doesn't work. Again, my mom doesn't really care about Bluetooth or stuff like that. She just listens to the radio, so it doesn't really matter for me. I'm not going to install Apple CarPlay in this thing or anything. But yeah, I mean, the sunroof works as well, which is good. A lot of these break, but this one works just fine. Headliner's in really, really good shape. It's not sagging or anything. But some of the problems, let me shut it off and we can go and take a look at it. So the pressing problems, the stuff that needs to get done ASAP, is the hub bearings. So I'm just going to replace both of the front ones because they're cheap. They're like 65 bucks for the actual hub itself. This thing makes a really, really nasty noise when you're driving down the street. I'm going to get a video of it right here. I don't know how much of that you guys can hear, but it's a really nasty whining noise. I thought it was the diff. It's not. It's definitely the hubs. I have my dad drive it, and it's the hub bearing. So we'll start with those. If it does end up being the diff, I'm not too worried. The diffs online are like 300 bucks for a used one. And then we could probably, we can either do that or I could take this one to get rebuilt. Who really cares? I mean, it's a cheap diff. And yes, I know someone's gonna be like, the diff on my Chevy was only 50 bucks. Great. This is a Mercedes, not a Chevy. So $300 for a differential is not a bad price. So that's what we're gonna end up doing. And then, yeah, the wheels need to get refinished. I'm gonna do brakes on it. It doesn't need them. I mean, it doesn't make any noise or anything, but the discs are they look a little weird. So I'll probably just have them refinished and new pads and everything all around. I did do a couple of things to it. So if you guys remember, the hood did not want to stay up on its own. I had to go ahead and I had to replace the hood shocks because they were blown out. So I got these, Amazon, 25 bucks. Yes, they're Chinese probably, and I don't, you know, I'm 100% sure actually they're Chinese, but they work great. I don't have to hold the hood up myself. So yeah, so we have the hub bearings. I've changed that. I also did a cabin filter because it's right there. It's really easy. There's two of them actually, cabin filters and the air filters. I changed those because those were original. They had dates of 2008 on them, so they were original. Nobody had ever done them, which is a shame. So we're going to do that. That needs to be replaced, the expansion tank, which is pretty common on this era of Mercedes. They go bad news. You guys can see there's clearly something's been leaking out of it, and this thing has water in it, which is not good. It has coolant, but there's also water, and you can see it's like clear. So we gotta change that out. We gotta swap out the coolant. And sorry guys, it looks like there's some crazy over there. This guy almost just hit one of the buses. People are idiots in this town. It's just actually ridiculous how stupid people are. But yeah, we have an expansion tank that we're gonna need to change. It's got actual coolant, but a lot of it's water, so I do want to change that out. And it's it's orange. It's supposed to be blue in this car. So drain that out, flush the system. The radiator's not leaking or anything, so we're just gonna flush the system and then get a new tank in. And they're like 20 bucks at Mercedes. They're actually pretty cheap for what it is. And then put a new one in. fill it up with the correct kind of coolant and go from there. Also, this thing has an oil leak, surprise, surprise, on a Mercedes from the rear. They have, I think they're called the PCV caps. They sit on the back of the M273, and it's this huge black cap. I'll put a picture of it here somewhere. That always leaks. On the M272 and the 273, they always leak. So that's what we're going for. I got to change, or my dad's going to change it. We're going to change that one. It's the only one leaking. Valve covers are not leaking because there's no actual gaskets. This uses silicone. So it is not leaking. It literally just needs that one cap, and then it'll be perfect. Because right now I could smell it. I've driven this thing over here. It's not far from my house, but it's still got enough time to heat up, and I could smell the oil. So it's not, you know, it's just disgusting because when you turn the AC on, it smells inside. Speaking of the AC doesn't work. So right now, thank goodness, it's November in Las Vegas, and it's pretty cold outside. We don't need AC, but we will need it for the summer. So by then we'll have it fixed. It's going to be, hopefully it's just a compressor. Actually, that's probably the worst case scenario, but it also doesn't have any Freon in it. So we checked, it has 0 Freon. So I'm going to hook up the AC machine, and I'm going to do a test leak to see if it's got a leak somewhere, because that's probably why it has no Freon. Do a test leak, see how that goes, and then if we got to redo, you know, if we got to change the compressor, if we got to change some O-rings or whatnot, go from there. If it does end up being the compressor, I'm just going to do a condenser, dryer, washer, everything, just to make sure the system's new, and then we'll call from there. But overall, you guys, $1,200, 190,000 miles. Yes, it is a lot of miles, but it's really good. I mean, it drives really good. Aside from the hub noise, it shifts really good. It's got a little bit of a stutter between 35 to 40. That's the torque converter. These 722.9s have issues with the torque converter where it's a 3-clutch torque converter, and one of the clutches probably is slipping. So what we need to do is just take the torque converter out, either have it rebuilt or put another one in. They're like $700. Again, that's expensive, but it's not that expensive when you're considering it's a Mercedes. So yeah, well, it's not a pressing issue though. It drives fine. It's just between 35 to 40 miles an hour. So not really worried right now. Once it starts doing it really bad, then consider, you know, at that point we'll probably put on the lift, take the torque converter out, take the trans out, service everything, and then go from there. But as of right now, it's not a pressing concern. The SUV drives just fine. So our main thing is just to get it, you know, fixed oil leak, fix the hubs so it can be driven properly. And then I got to clean these up because these are horrible. You can't see anything at night. They are just regular halogens, which if there were xenons, it would have been a little bit better, but halogens, and it's hard to see because they're so yellowed out. Both of them are. That one's actually probably worse. So I just got to go through them with a fine sandpaper, you know, polish them up and everything and make them look nice, and then probably get somebody to paint this thing. I mean, again, the paint's probably the last concern of this thing. I might not even paint it, but it is what it is. It's really nice. I mean, like I said, you guys, for $1,200, you really can't beat this deal. Let me know down below, though, what do you guys think about the ML550? Are all these problems normal, or you guys think I maybe got screwed? I honestly don't think so. I think for $1,200, I stole it, and these problems are very minuscule because the thing drives just fine. It doesn't overheat, doesn't do anything. So let me know down below what you guys think, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.